Shouts out BigSteve.
What's up? What's up? Big Brain MMA early tease. The first early tease of 2025. How good is it to be breaking down UFC again? How good is it to be getting teased? I feel like someone is playing with my nips right now, honestly. And it feels good. It feels great. So if this is the first early tease you've ever watched in your entire life, we're going to look at some betting breakdowns and betting odds for the upcoming cards without any tape. Although this time I've done a little bit of tape because it was about a month before the UFC started. So did I make money on the last UFC and all these last few cards? Yes, I did. We should go over it quickly. I just realized I didn't even do the UFC as well. So I'll do the UFC and a bunch of regional cards. I did an overview video. I went live and I just edited and uploaded it again. So it's 6 minutes shorter. It's got better noise, better voice. I took out my dog and all this background noise, so it's nicely edited. So go watch it if you want. 26 minutes, a lot of timestamps. But other than that, yeah, we did make money last few events. So let's get into it, right? Let's start with this UFC fight night, and then we can break down the future UFC, right? So this card right here. We start off with Pierre Rodriguez. A little regret there. I was torn between Pierre having value or not. Obviously, Knudsen, not the best takedown defense. I passed. I just don't really trust Pierre, but yeah, great play there. $50 on Lima by submission. It was close, but not really. He did take his back. No harm done. Sean Woodson versus Fernando Padilla. This is the first bet that I had a significant or normal stake on. So I had 1 unit, $500 on Padilla. No scorecards, so he's the only one. So I only win if he finishes. If he goes to decision, you get your money back. The theory behind it was Woodson can't finish shit. Barely finishes anyone. Padilla, yes, hittable, but extremely durable. Never been finished in his entire life. He fought Spike Carlisle. He fought Dan Ige when he was a kid. And he ate some bombs from Carl Nelson. And, of course, whenever I play these no scorecards, Sean Woodson ends up looking like Francis Ngannou against Padilla. So I lost $500 there. Pretty much hated it from the side. The whole public was on it, but I was like, I don't want to overthink this. And yeah, sometimes the gut just is so right. And yeah, the fight made no sense. Padilla kind of looked compromised there as well. So $500 down. Nothing on Yoel Alvarez. The inside the distance was free. Then I ended up playing the under 2.5, $500 in the Michael Johnson Azaitar fight. It was a no-brainer. I didn't go big because Michael Johnson loves to spar and not really, sit down on his punches. But Azaitar, incredibly shinny. But then I donated a little bit to Azaitar round one, and I did Azaitar no scorecards, which again, Michael Johnson finished him. So I'm like a little bit more down there. Then I go into Marcos Yanez, nothing. Oh, pardon me. Then Navajo Sterling, my other actual proper bet. I had 500 on Sterling inside the distance, and I didn't want to go big because Sterling plays with his food and can barely finish anyone. Like I was going to play the over 1.5 in the Contender Series fight because that Latu guy, very durable, and go figure, he knocks him out with like 10 seconds to go in the fight that was cruising over. And then he can't finish Toko Tukos, who was done. He almost finishes him in round one, and Tukos, horrible cardio. He wanted to be out of there. And yeah, this absolute bum, Navajo Sterling, can't get him out of there. Like, if he actually threw something other than a straight to the gut, then he would have knocked him out. But just horrible, typical city kickboxing, green, overrated fighter. Can't wait to fade him. This episode is kind of sounding a bit like Tilt Zone with these, upsetting results. But so now I'm down over $1,000, and I don't even, I barely bet anything. I thought I bet like 2 safe bets in Sterling inside the distance, and Padilla no scorecards, which I thought I would, worst case, be getting my money back. But I'm over $1,000 here. And, the only other bet, Michael Johnson, Azaitar, instead of just focusing on the under 2.5, I forced Azaitar no scorecards as well. So I lose a bit of money there too. Justin Jacoby, Petrino, nothing here. But I was lining up a Jacoby live bet at huge numbers right before he knocked him out. That was a little bit annoying. Cup, Bruno Silva, a little bit annoyed. I passed on the Cup KO. And here we go. One of my favorite bets of the year. Cub Swanson, I played him at he went almost up to $3. Everyone was playing Billy. I said on the early podcast, I spoke with Dagestani Papi. We both like Cub. yes, he's a little bit old, but I did so much tape. I thought this was the style that Cub, perfect style for Cub. Billy doesn't have good wrestling, a punching bag, and 2-2 going into 3. Everyone in the Discord is like, oh, he's breaking him, Billy's breaking him. And I was like, come on, boys. And then Billy knocks him out cold. And I won like a whole unit there, 500. And then obviously I had $2,000 on Yaku Buckley. And, same bet. People were saying, oh, it's a big step up for Buckley. How's he going to handle 5 rounds? And yeah, just beat him from pillar to post, knocked him out. Yeah, Covington looked done after one round. So I ended up with just under $400 profit, which is annoying because all week I had Buckley, 2K to win over 1,000. So like 2K to win 2 units, and that would have been a good card. But it's all right. Squeezed out profit after Padilla and Sterling, which kind of like high variance results. So 300 something there. We move on. Brave didn't touch. ACA didn't touch. KSW, right? One of my favorite promotions. This was an annoying result as well. Obviously, I had no UFC this week, so I had a lot of time to tape. So we did into Pastor and Hermu. We kind of liked them. One, shit happened. So I had a huge bet on Mariwako. I had like almost 2,000. Ended up reducing to 1,500. He wins easy peasy. Just levels, weight class difference. Then I had Kexel. He's a grappler going against this striker that can't really grapple at all. He's been re-naked choked by Colares and a bunch of others. Upon retape, I'm like, oh, this could be pick him. Like, Kexel doesn't have good jiu-jitsu himself. He's not very physical, and he's got bad reactions on the feet, and he's also been knocked out twice, so there's a chin issue there. I had 2 units at slight plus money, reduced to 1 unit when he dropped down to minus 200. Lost the decision, which I didn't cap at all, but yeah, makes sense. Regret not parlaying Ramazan with someone. Pass. Then I had another unit on Debian, and again, just under pick him, and yeah, it loses a 30-27, but he beat the crap out of Laboot, but got taken down near the end. Competitive round 2, he was jabbing him up, then gets taken down, end of round 2, and just gets mauled round 3. So yeah, very annoying results. Again, if I just left Vaco, which was my lock of the card, I got $1,000 from 3 units. But 2 very competitive fights with Kexel and Debian. I lose, so I break even there. So still around $300, peanuts. We move on to boxing. Usyk Fury. I played Fury. Usyk, pardon me again. $1.72. I said the line should probably be minus 200. He won a lot more clearer this time, even though he gave up like the first 4 rounds to Fury. A little bit sweaty. Regret not live betting when he went to dog. Like everyone knew how the fight was going to play out. Usyk has the better cardio. Fury came in more heavier. So yeah, I gave this one out to Twitter because I was kind of confident. And yeah, another $300 something there. So we got a respectable haul now after the boxing, thankfully. So we go into the octagon now. And yeah, I taped a lot of this card. I regret not playing this Jakub Barfalski. I mentioned on the podcast, $1.40 is a bit untrustworthy, but it was just a squash match. But I did parlay him with Sadari. Sadari fought this Serbian dude, short notice. Serbian guy is super, super underwhelming. Just like a padded record. So I won 380 there. I put a unit on it. Again, it should have been a smash spot. I'm just very, very cautious with my parlays, right? But we'll address that. Pass. I regret passing on Schwid. I say he had a bit of value as a huge dog. I did play Ozan as a huge dog. He went up to $5 on Bet Online, and that was enough to make me poke it to win 500 a unit. Thank goodness I did. And that's all. I had the parlay, and I won 500 on Aslana, so I won 800 and something. And yeah, passed on Severino. I regret Will Fleury. I overthunk that one, and I overthunk Keita as well. Basically, this was a card where all my leans were perfect, accurate, but only made 800 and something dollars. So, but with the boxing, with the UFC, we're close to $2,000 now. So things are looking good. And then we go to Rizin. And look, as I said, not putting much money on the parlays, but I didn't do that here. So I had a full $2,000 on a juicy parlay of Koji Hiruchi against Zulu. All right. Seika Izawa versus the squash match, 2 minutes submission, and Shabulai versus Yuta Kubo. Again, $1.15, $1.10, and $2.50 $1.25 on Koiji. That was the sweatiest one. It was always going to be the sweatiest one. But $2,000 to win just over 1,000. I had a little boost on Bet365. And then I liked so many things. I broke this with Narco Cop as well. I said I ended up playing this Sina Kariman because he was like 100 kilos versus 80 kilos in boxing. But the guy is so bad at boxing, and he almost got DQ'd as well. And yeah, obviously, I took too much consideration into the weight advantage, but not enough into the speed. So Anpo just lit his ass up, but I only had $100 on that. Thank goodness. I just kept reducing. I had a full unit on Tai Ashayo versus Yura. That was a straight kickboxing fight, which I would not touch with a 10 full pole. But my boy Ube, UFC betting experience, in the Discord, he sent it out to me, and obviously no UFC, so I was like, yeah, I'll tape it with you. And it seemed like a levels fight. I was very nervous about keeping it. I don't like stepping out of my comfort zone. I don't know much about kickboxing, but my boy Ube was right, and Taya won. So I won 380 there. Obviously, the big parlay hit, and yeah, I could have played so many things. Ed Polo King, right? As my boy Pirate says, we should have smashed him. He went up to minus 200. Should have smashed him. Easy knockout. Sakuraba, pass. Jose Torres, I had a little bit on him to win over a unit. I cashed that out. I had Ueda at $3. I ended up reducing all the way to $70 so I can win 350. I was happy with that. It was a volatile fight. If I didn't have money on Ueda, I would have been cracking up. He hurts Kim, and then he falls over and trips, and then he gets up, then he hurts him again, then he gets hurt back. He's just scenes. But yeah, hit Ueda, and then passed on everything else. I had Akimoto, this 18-year-old kid. I cashed that out. That was actually a good cash out. And honestly, I was taping the card as I was watching because this went for like 10 hours. And I was like, oh, Souza's live for a triangle, man, over this Suga Karamov. I watched these regionals before he got to Rizin. He was putting himself in triangles. But I talked myself out of it because Karamov hits hard. So I was like, what if he gets on top? Maybe he can pound them out. But yeah, that one sucked. And I felt the same about Kleber. I was talking crap to Chad and people that bet Suzuki. I was like, Kleber's the sides. He just needs to not get knocked out, and he should win. But I can't complain, man. 1,800 on Rizin. I won the Ueda big dog shot. I won the big parlay. And yeah, I would have hit Polo King. I hit the kickboxer. So yeah, I'm glad that I went full $2,000 on a chalky parlay instead of being a bitch like I was on OKTAGON, just one unit. That should have been a smash spot. And my boy Pirate was telling me, we should smash Sadari and that Jacob kid. But yeah, we got to fix that up. We need to win more money, right? Especially with the wedding coming up. So that's where we're at, right? I finished the year on 28,800, 33.9 units. Let's just say 34 units. Not bad. It's not my worst year. I've done better than 2 other years out of 6. So my fourth best year. Not bad at all. But yeah, obviously had very up and down year. Obviously, just go watch my review recap. Too many break-even months. A massive losing month in August, which made me go from $2,000 units to 500. So now the plan is fix that up. I need to make more money. Aiming for 100,000. We'll see. But yeah, profit once again. That's always going to happen. Don't mess around. Let's get into it. Let's get into the UFC. Right. Let me address the comments first. Brits, Happy New Year, mate. One of the legends. Pirate. 6 Hound. Jose Torres, we are not going for leg locks. Yeah, look, honestly, kind of glad that I cashed that out because old mate Shinru, or whatever his name is, the kid was doing well in round 3. He looked like he was cruising to a unanimous decision. And he was hell-bent on losing. Michael West, how are you, sir? Great year. Yeah, it's all right. It's profit, but I wouldn't say great for my standards. Lou Betcher, where is the list of autistic bets? Those are my favorites. Well, autistic bets are, if you go to VB's Dub Club, that's where you can get his autistic bets. All right. Let's get into it, right? And obviously, I've done a little bit of tape on this card since it's so far away. So, Narula Aliyev. No, this is one that I haven't taped. So, there's that. Obviously, Narula, big favorite. Actually, it would have been good to have totals on this, but it's all right. I would like to do more content as well this year, but yeah, things are tough. Yeah, Narula hasn't really beat anyone good, man. Hasn't really beat any good. Rafael Alves is best win, but the guy's always had issues with wrestling. And, he's fighting Ashmuz, who Ashmuz is a grappler himself, grappled Trevor Peak. knocked out Sam Patterson. He's grappled a bunch of these in the regionals. He's not the best, but I mean, this line is crazy. You know, like Aliyev as a crotch sniffer, you know, with minimum finishing upside over Yashmuz, a guy that will fight for your money. Yeah, dog or pass. Dog or pass. I'll need to look into it. Victoria Dodakova, yeah, I guess dog or pass. Victoria, massive favorite, but Fatima Klein is actually good, and Victoria is not. So I don't want to say dog or pass. This is probably just a straight pass without any tape. But I ain't rushing. I ain't rushing to tape this. 6 Hound, starting off the year with a horrible, pointless WMMA rematch. What's oh, of course. Well, there's a lot of rematches, man. We just had a Rizin rematch. We had a OKTAGON rematch. And we got this rematch, Dern. And then we have Strickland versus DDP a couple of weeks down. And then next week we have Makachev versus All Mate rematch. They're all rematches. But so far in Rizin, OKTAGON Rizin, the original guy won. So if that's the case, you know, Ribas should win. And yeah, but I'm talking shit. Who knows? Lines off, but I think he wins. Yeah, it's hard to fade these dudes, these wrestlers. All right, Magomed Gadzasulov versus Bruno Lopez. So I know a lot of dudes on Magomed. Obviously, the line has moved. I get it. Bruno Lopez is a hard guy to trust. It seems like after getting knocked out by old mate, whatever his name is, Ribeiro, that's a common opponent for Magomed and Bruno Lopez, he's just been getting worse. You know, his fight against Brigago in LFA for the title, it looked bad there. Brigago, not a good fighter. And it looked dreadful. I played him in his second return to Dana White Contender Series. I played him there against this absolute Georgian fraud, and he gets dropped. And I only played him because the line improved to like $1.70, right, giving him like 60%. And yeah, he just got dropped, survived, but it looked like every single time a punch was thrown at him, he was going to get knocked out. So not a trustworthy guy. He's a bit of a Brazilian meathead, no good IQ, but he's a pressure boxer. And my old mate, Magomed, is not a good fighter. He's not a good fighter at all. Doesn't have the best cardio. So got hurt with a leg kick by old mate Ribeiro. But obviously, you know, Ribeiro just has no takedown defense, and he kept going for guillotines. From my deep tape on Bruno Lopez in his second fight in Contender Series, I realized that he kind of has good takedown defense / get-ups. He doesn't settle on the ground, right? There's not much, but if you watch his whole career, you can piece the snippets together, and that's why I played him against this Georgian fraud. So, yeah, I mean, Magomed at this minus 200 line now, don't really think I'm feeling it. He's going to have a speed advantage, but he doesn't have much power, man. He hasn't really knocked out many people like that are good. These are all squash matches on his record, right? All squash matches. And then he came up against this Syed Malim guy who's not good at all, but couldn't finish him. Couldn't finish the punching bag Jose Medina, and then couldn't finish Brenton Ribeiro. So I guess, you know, I'm kind of talking myself into it now. But if you can't finish Bruno Lopez, there's going to be some value on Lopez at whatever his line is. So, yeah, dog or pass for me. I know a lot of people on Magomed. 6 Hound thinks Magomed is pretty mid. He sure is. Here we go, Pirate. Have some Gads minus 155 and not really liking it. Well, there you go. That's another person that's on him. I mean, dude, these are two Contender Series frauds. Ernesta Carrots Kite versus Nicole Cagliari. I mean, I know both these girls are bad, right? I've tagged them extensively multiple times. I faded Ernesta against Barboza. Barboza looked like Manel Kapp against her on the feet. Landed 2 spitting back elbows, cracked her, hurt her with an overhand right. Like Barboza's meant to be a jiu-jitsu girl, but she does have some power. And yeah, then she barely snuck by Carly Jadis, even though she has a lot of volume. So it's like a lot of volume, no power, bad takedown defense, not much physicality. And Nicole is going to grapple, right? This Nicole chick, again, not good at all, but she'll grapple. So yeah, never Dana White Contender Series low women's MMA females at minus 200 or worse. Like just say this is dog or pass, but I have to look into it. You know, obviously, money still keeps coming in on Nesta. It's bouncing up and down. So someone is feeling confident enough to parlay this chick, which to me is just craziness. 6 Hound thinks Nesta is pretty decent. I mean, she's got to prove it, man. Decent what? Throwing a lot of output. She is, and that's It's a good trait to have, but she needs to have more than just that. I will say her cardio is good and she has good get-ups as well, so that works for her. Alrighty, Andreas Gustafsson versus Preston Parsons. I have to look into this one again. A bit of money coming on Parsons. I hate Parsons personally. He's chinny. I don't like his wrestling or his control. Like, he's got good entries and he works hard and people just kind of fall for him being a good grappler, but he constantly falls off, like off the top, going for arm bars and stuff. So got easily shut down by Oba and Elliott, but Elliott just neutralizing him, which is if you lose 30-27 by getting neutralized, it just means you're shit. So can he neutralize? Like, I feel like these guys are going to meet in the middle and just like go at it, because Gustafsson only knows one thing: it's just come forward and clinch. And he just beat this Patlik, who's a really good striker, Muay Thai guy. Just beat him by just grinding him against the cage and just landing knees and elbows and just knocked him out. Just attritional beating. So he's got some wrestling, but doesn't really use it really. He does try against the cage, but it's not the best. So I'm gonna look into this one. I mean, yeah, I know for a fact I'm not gonna really like Parsons, but we'll see. All right. 6 rounds. Bettors like high volume fighters. They sure do, mate. They sure do. A lot of people were betting her against Barbosa, and then they were upset that she lost because she had quote unquote value, right? Pirate. I would play Gus if he had better striking. He's just a brute. Probably can beat Parsons in clinch, but wouldn't want to play that minus. Yeah, I mean, it's Gustafsson will pass for me just because Parsons is the worst. Thiago Moises versus Trey Ogden. Yeah, bit of bounce on this line as well. Money coming in on Ogden, and now it's come back to Moises. I mean, Moises a minus money. He's just like never. But Trey Ogden, absolute, again, a guy that just does nothing. A neutralizer, jabs, weasel, I should say, skirts on the outside of the octagon. I played Loic Radzabano because from the deep tape that I did, I was like, this is a bad matchup for Trey. He won't be able to hold Loic down. Loic's going to pressure him and land uppercuts and overhand rights. And that's what he did. But the worst thing is Loic trips over in the first round, gets his back taken for the whole 5 rounds. Then rounds 2, he hurts him and he's wobbling him all around the cage. And then he slips again. And then Trey goes into mount. And because of that, they give him the round, even though literally this guy's getting wobbled and hurt. It should have been a 10-8. And then round 3 again, just very, very competitive. Trey Ogden is on top of him, and Loic reverses with like a minute to go, and that amount of ground and pound that he throws on Trey is enough to steal the round. So it's like very slim margins fight. Old mate did all the damage, Loic Radzabanov, but he couldn't get it because Trey is an absolute weasel. He's an absolute weasel, and this Thiago Moises, he doesn't really do much himself. He's just a really untrustworthy guy. He's a mental midget. So I completely understand why people play Trey Ogden at dog odds, but yeah, I don't know. It's a weird fight. It's like, which one of these guys will be able to get their grappling off? Like, Moises is a really good offensive grappler, but he got rinsed by Benoit Saint Denis because he was just physical and he just broke him. But Trey Ogden is not that guy. So this is just a weird fight. Like, physicality wise, I'm like, yeah, this Moises is the side. He's got the better dumps, the better entries and double legs, and he seems a lot more dangerous when he gets from the back, and obviously has more power too. But yeah, this is like one of those fights that screams hard to get a read on. Just pass on it. Legit might not end up with a single bet on this card. Interesting. Well, I already have a bet, my friends. I have a bet, so stick around. Ogden King Weasel. Can't believe this guy lost to Levitt. Yeah, he's a bum, man. He's a fucking idiot. He's really bad. I know some people that bet him there against Levitt and they were pissed, but I'm so happy I passed on that fight. Marco Tulio versus Ilo Pateria. I mean, Marco Tulio is not that guy. $1.25. Dana White Contender Series debutant against Pateria. If it was anyone better, slightly better, this would have been a smash spot. But it's so hard to get behind Ilo Pateria. Like, his decision equity is just trash. But yeah, this is a clear dog or pass. I will say Ilo Pateria at 28 and a middleweight, he's kind of improving. He's doing better and better. Obviously, his career was filled with squash matches early. His chin is not bad. I know he's been knocked out a bunch. It was dropped by Pereira. But his chin is good. Ate some bombs from Robert Bricek, who's got a lot of round 1 KOs in Octagon. Ate some bombs from Bellato. That was a ground and pound stoppage from Gassing. Ate some bombs from Cesar Almeida. So his chin's good. His chin's good. It's just the cardio is not the best, and as it extends at around 1 and 2, just starts to slow down. But he's improving. Tulio, like I don't really like his process. He just throws flying knees and spinning wheel kicks, and he likes that overhand right. He cost me twice on betting under 1.5s with him. He got the last one like 10 seconds after against the bum, absolute bum. So they've given him a bum. They've given him a bum in LFA. He had a kind of decent opponent, Yazoo Balgarawi, the first time he was on Contender Series, and he kind of made a meal of it, so they didn't sign him. But yeah, he's got knockout power. He was knocked out badly himself, so Peteria has power. Maybe he can crack him. He's extremely hittable. This last fight against this bum on Contender Series, just getting lit up, like no consideration for striking defense. But yeah, dog or pass. I kind of started taping it, and I'm like, it's just hard to trust Peteria. It feels like Peteria will be winning, and then because Tulio just always throws, maybe just cracks him with some rabies overhand right. But yeah, just clear dog or pass. Alrighty, good fight. Jose Johnson versus Felipe Bunes. Again, I don't understand this line. Like Jose Johnson at $1.45, worse than -200. Again, this guy he's got striking defense issues. He's been knocked out cold by Mana Martinez before, right? Really bad takedown defense. Got taken out a billion times by Jack Cartwright, a billion times by Asur Almabayev. Got taken out a lot of times by Chad Anhelinger. I played him slightly better than -200 against Chad. And sure, he covered. He was winning 30-27 and then he got a last-minute submission. But I was sweating. Chad Hellinger, right, he's a bum. Like I bet Cody Gibson against him massively, and that's how a favorite should look against Chad. Just no adversity, 10-8. And Jose is like plodding into the pocket against a 5-foot guy, and he's getting cracked with overhand rights. I'm like, dude, you're like 6 foot. You're almost 6 foot tall. He is 6 foot at flyweight, and you're walking into the range with this midget. And yeah, just not trustworthy. He's hittable, bad takedown defense. And he's fighting Felipe Bunes. This Bunes guy is not bad at all. Like his ACA tape in Russia, he's cracking these Russians, like undefeated Russians. Yeah, they're taking him down. But he's got really good submissions. He's got some good arm bars, rear naked chokes. He attempted a buggy choke. His tape is good. He knocked out old mate Yuma Horiuchi. He's not the best guy, but he's a decent LFA guy. He was on road to UFC as well. So he's literally got power. He's got elite jiu-jitsu. He goes for takedowns as well, which shouldn't be hard to get Jose Johnson down. So yeah, it's a dog or pass for me. There's no way. Like this is a step up from someone like Chad and Henniger, for example. Maybe even a step up from Jack Cartwright, who's a bum too. But yeah, the under could be a good one. Oh, ultimately, I taped a few fights and I just reminded myself how gassy Felipe Bunes is. Obviously, this is not going to be as hard of a fight as Joshua Van. Joshua Van, complete different level. But he's 35 and he's a bit gassy, and I don't know. I guess you could bet Bunes, and then you could also lie bet Jose Johnson if Bunes slows down. But it's just a volatile, weird fight. But yeah, dog or pass for me. The under could be good. Alrighty, this is a sick fight. All right, they're feeding my boy Medic to Punahele Soriano, a welterweight. He's looked good at welterweight in his last one. I still hate Puna for knocking out Dushko, and I hate Herb Dean for stopping that fight when it should have been stopped. So if he knocks out another Serbian dude in Uroš Medic, man, I'm going to hate this guy. I've lost so much money on Puna. When I bet him, he loses. He pulls a stunt. When I fade him, he wins. It's just the worst. I fucking hate the guy. Yeah, Uroš is -200, which is interesting considering, Soriano has a grappling path and Medic is not really the best wrestler or grappler. So I have to look into this one. Yeah, I mean, I don't think I'll be playing Uroš -200. If I'm going to be playing Uroš -200, it's going to be against someone that's washed and chinny, like Tim Means. I don't know about this one. So interesting fight. I can't wait to tape it, actually, but haven't got around to it yet. Alrighty, we're up to my first bet, right? And my first bet is actually Mush of the Week, Austin Bashi, right? And I see, obviously, the consensus here from the crowd is, Bashi is not worth this price. He's 23 years of age. He's a grappler. He's one-dimensional. And he's fighting a good fighter in C-Rod, who's already beaten so many of these guys. so many of these grapplers. He beat Bulgarian. He beat Cameron Simon. He beat Raul Rosas Jr. You know, this is just another one of those fights where Bashi is going to start well. He's going to get takedowns, and then he's going to gas, and then C-Rod is going to, you know, go break him down the stretch and win like he's beat, all these other guys. Apparently, every single fighter is the same, and there's no difference, right? And this is just going to go exactly like that. But yeah, I'll tell you why that's not going to happen, but I'll have a little sip of my celery juice first. Look at some comments. C-Rod and Bashi, good ass fight. Yes, it is. Over 2.5, fade the sub. C-Rod, good sub defense. Yeah, I mean, until he fought Juicy J Rosa, right? I'm on Bashi, parlayed him with a show live. Everyone in the moment are going to be in Ribas. Rematch, especially in MMA, never go the same. Ribas is plateaued, and she doesn't have the one hitter. Quitter like Ramos. Edwards Bilal 2, Gun, Log 2. I don't understand how anyone could play Ribas and Caroline. I agree. All right, let's get back to this fight. So, a few reasons why I don't think this fight, this matchup is the same as, let's say, Raul Rosas Jr., for example. Or let's say Bulgarian. So, Bulgarian, one-dimensional gassy, right? Good wrestler, but gassy, right? Same as Rosas, 18-year-old kid making his debut, not much striking, aggressively grappling, no plan B, right? And a few others. On top of that, that was a slim margins fight. Yeah, Rosas beat the crap out of him in round 3. Round 2, still taken down and had his back taken, right? Usyk Bulgarian basically got a robbery win based off one knee against the cage that Bulgarian didn't even react to. Just the crowd reacted to, and two judges gave him round 2. Also, it didn't even get a 10-8, right, for round 1. So, and also against Cameron Simon and against Raul Rosas Jr., he didn't make weight. He came in cheating, right? He was a big bantamweight when everyone else cut weight. So Austin Bashi actually has a background in Muay Thai. He's not going to slow down, right, like some of these other guys. If he has a 5-round fight versus, what's his name? Let me have a look. Joe Panafel, right? He goes the full 5 rounds and he doesn't stop shooting takedowns for the entire 5 rounds. Like, this kid's an animal, right? He was on the back foot a bit, and he lands a good stepping in knee. When Joe went to shoot on him, he lands a knee, hurts him. He hurt him with an overhand right. He was throwing some head kicks. The kid actually has good distance management. He's circling around. He doesn't panic. He doesn't panic shoot like, for example, Raul Rosas Jr. So he can take his time. He can shoot takedowns when he feels like he needs to get them to seal the rounds. He's not going to cardio die like Bulgarian. Again, Bulgarian and Rosas Jr. never been out of round 1, round 2. This guy's been 5 rounds. He's gone decision a lot. But this kid is a cardio freak. That's what he's known for. He's known for being a cardio freak. So he has better cardio. He actually has sufficient striking. He can strike. He can strike from both stances. Good striking defense, in and out. He's comfortable on the feet. He's not going to panic. It's not like C-Rod actually has any power anyway. Like, if C-Rod is going to win, it's probably going to be a volume-based decision where he lands more damage. But yeah, I just felt like C-Rod's path is very slim. He needs to stuff the takedowns. He's going to spend a lot of time against the cage, right? He'll probably get his back taken again. Someone said play the over 2.5. I don't know about that. I've seen his back taken a lot. Bashi is actually one of the better jiu-jitsu guys. He's better than Bulgarian. He's better than Raul Rosas Jr. as well, I would say. His rear naked choke is improving. He had a lot of decisions, and now he's getting Dorian Ramos, who's never been subbed before, with a good rear naked choke. So yeah, I feel like this is Bashi's fight to lose. All right, not much value at $1.45, but maybe there is. Maybe he gets a round 1 sub, round 2 sub. Maybe he gets a round 3 sub. Maybe he gets a 30-27, 29-28. But ultimately, I just feel like C-Rod's path is slim. I got $1,000 on him. Actually, no, I have 3 units on him. I have 1,500. But I'm probably going to reduce. I think that's a little bit irresponsible. But yeah. Didn't want to overthink it. I think Bashi is the real deal. I looked at his interview. He's a very smart kid as well. He actually referenced the Raul Rosas fight. He said, I know what he did wrong. I'm not going to do the same. First of all, I'm not scared to strike, blah, blah, blah. So very smart kid, very clever. So yeah, that's my reason for that one bet. 6 rounds. You talked me in. Bashi decision. Well, I just said I wouldn't be playing decision, but because he can get a rear naked, but it's up to you. Not your typical Dana White Contender Series debutant. He could even get a finish. I mean, this kid is, yeah. People just paint everyone with the same brush, But some people that come from Contender Series are actually special. And I think this kid is. And if he's not special now, he will be soon enough because he's only 23 years of age. All right. Chris Curtis, Roman Kopylov. Yeah, I see people saying both. Roman Kopylov has got, parlay and blah, blah, blah. Obviously, Curtis hates good footwork and he hates people that are faster than him and kickers, which this is a bad style matchup for him. But, I thought Curtis had a chance against Nasruddin Imavov, back in the day. And that's because of his pressure and his boxing and his power. But obviously, Imavov grappled him. I don't think Kopylov will do that. So, Kopylov's also hittable. He's been cracked a bunch. He went to a split with Cesar Almeida. He had to grapple there. He started to get pressured a bit by Almeida and started to get cracked. He started to slow down. So I don't know. It's really hard to play Chris Curtis. The guy is a bit of an idiot. I live bet him against Brendan Allen, and he looked to be cruising, and then he did what? He pulls his hamstring with 30 seconds to go and loses the split. So it's a dog or pass. It's a dog or pass. Like a lot of these favorites, I ain't piling any of these favorites. It's just they're not screaming my name. All right, just untrustworthy dudes. But yeah, dog or pass. I see this is the one fight that we have a total for some reason. It's like really juiced to the over. I'd really just play the under, honestly. But all right, let's move on. Abdullah Al-Razak Hassan versus Cesar Almeida. We just spoke about Almeida, right? He fought Kopylov. He fought Ilo Poteria. And he's improving. He's a kickboxer that has awful takedown defense, but he scoots to the cage and he gets up. And yeah, ultimately, this feels like a dog or pass as well. I looked at a bit of Razak fights. He's a plotting guy, and to see like how would his striking be against a high level striker, and there's not many people that are like really striking him, right? Like what's his name? Joaquin Buckley kind of hurt him a bit, but then he resorted to wrestling. Claudio Ribeiro, he was grappling him. Ribeiro kind of landed a lot of leg kicks, and he didn't really react too well to them. Abdul and Pfeiffer couldn't really strike with him either. Pfeiffer tried to strike with him in round 2. He got his leg jacked up, and then he took him down and arm triangle and choked him. But Pfeiffer seems to have issues with leg kicks, though. We saw that he had issues against Hermanson as well, too. So, yeah, ultimately, it's a Hassan or pass, but it's like, do you want to be playing a 39-year-old Abdul Razak Hassan, like he's always not been trustworthy, but he's been a good dog traditionally. Like Cesar Almeida. Cesar Almeida is so green in MMA, and, he's 36 himself. He's not trustworthy either. His wins against Dylan Vodka, Lucas Fernando, I played him as a huge underdog, plus 250 in Contender Series, because I know that Fernando is a bum. But his wins, Budka, Poteria, Fernando, and he almost beat Kopylov, but not really. Like, just no get-ups, 0 get-ups. So, man, Razak Hassan or pass, just no-brainer. No-brainer. Alrighty. Let's see what we have here. Local man shakes fist. Can you believe they opened up Bashi plus 200? I cannot believe that at all. That's crazy. Kopylov takes round 1, slows down, and wins a split. Curtis then will go on Twitter and complain. Curtis will go on Twitter and complain regardless, mate. That's what he does. Chris Curtis grappling is regressing somehow. Kopylov, yeah, he used to have really elite takedown defense. Curtis low starter, Kopylov super sus cardio. Yeah, I agree. Live bet. To be fair, Razak doesn't look like a 39-year-old in there. No, he doesn't. Razak is actually, I think Razak at middleweight is much better, and he's actually grappling a lot more. So I don't mind. Razak even, I watched this, I thought the best guy to strike with him, the best kickboxer, was Munir Lazez, and he actually tried to grapple him in round 3. So, yeah. Razak's issues have always been takedown defense. Even Lazez took him down. So, is Cesar Almeida going to take him down? I know he's a world-class kickboxer, but 15 minutes of striking with Abdul Razak, and Razak has all the grappling upside. Yeah. Almeida loves to underwhelm. He sure does. I mean, both these guys do. Alrighty. Santiago Ponzinibbio, Carlston Harris. So I was really close to playing Carlston Harris at slight chalk because I'm like, man, Ponzinibbio is as washed as he gets, man. Like, I know him well. Played Holland inside the distance against him, a decent plus money. Holland had no left hand and he still no right hand, which is what I expected he would knock him out with, and he still knocked him out with his left hand. Somehow didn't get knocked out by Muslim Salika, which is crazy. But ultimately, upon tape, I was like, all right, this Carlston Harris is also ancient, absolutely ancient. What is he, 37? 37, correct. And yeah, very gassy and just super hittable. And obviously, he wants to grapple because he's got that mean grapple game. Jiu-jitsu game, especially front headlock series. But upon taping, Santiago still has good takedown defense. And he's got good volume, good calf kicks. So I'm like, all right, I'm not going to rush this. And thank goodness I didn't, because now the fight is lingering and pick 'em. So it feels like a shit show. It feels like both these guys are washed and chinny. Carlson Harris was just ran through by Chaos Williams. He's been knocked out before. Always hittable, just like herky-jerky striking. So I don't know, man. This is like a weird fight. Yeah, Carlson probably can crack him with some weird haymaker. But yeah, pick and fight. I'll leave it till the end. Speaking of leaving until the end, we're at the main event. A rematch. Mackenzie Dern versus Amanda Ribas. Let's look at the comments and then we'll finish it off. Two guys that don't know how to throw a punch. Come on, that's harsh on Ponzinibbio. UFC may be giving Pons a win. Mate, there's a much easier fight around the corner than Carlson Harris. I think this guy's underrated. He's the first person to submit Jeremiah Wells, who's a Gracie black belt. He put him out cold. Knocked out Impa Kasaganai. He's beat some really good guys. This is a Gamaev guy in UA Warriors that he das choked as well. Really good fighter. Yeah, but he's been knocked out a lot, so I don't really trust him. Alrighty. So the main event. All right. I know someone said, how could you play Amanda Ribas at this line, minus 200? And I agree. They fought back in 2019. Ribas was streaking. Dern just came off pregnancy. She was incredibly green, right? She looked like crap in terms of body-wise. A few fights later, she still looked not the same, but a few fights later, she beat Werner Jandiroba. She took down Nina, submitted her. She lost to Rodriguez. She beat Tisha Torres. Better there, but slightly. Very close to beating Zhao Yanan. I thought she had a 10-8 in the fifth round. Looked like she was on all the steroids against Angela Hill. All of a sudden, she has traps now. And, after that win, which people were high on, she was a favorite against Andrade, and now people are off her again. And I thought she was very unlucky not to beat Amanda Lemos. I bet her against Godinez. So, yeah, how does Amanda Ribas look minus 200? Sure, she looked minus 200 the first time, but Ribas is chinny, right? That's fact. It's never changed. She's a bit of an idiot too. Like, I know from taping her a bunch, her takedown defense is good. Her initial hips are very strong. Obviously, she's a judoka. But when she gets taken down, she can be on her back for a long time. She didn't get up against Werner Jandiroba for a while. She was grounded by Rose Namajunas and didn't get up for a while. Like against Rose Namajunas, whenever Rose grappled her, she tried to go for a judo toss and ended up on her back, and then she just played jiu-jitsu. So it's like, what if Mackenzie Dern judo tosses her? Mackenzie Dern has shit wrestling, but she actually has good judo tosses. So, yeah. Mackenzie Dern has all the finishing upside early. But then this is another 5-rounder, and Mackenzie Dern is just not good at conserving her energy. Even round 3 against... I thought she won round 3 against Godinez as well, but all the judges gave it to Godinez because she kept landing that check left hook. So, yeah. It's clear dogger pass. If you're going to play Ribas, just live bet. I don't think she's going to be rinsing Dern this time around and looking like minus 200. I just don't envision that at all. Like, when is Amanda Ribas, you could say she's maybe looked minus 200 against Araujo, which was a strange fight. Like, she hurt Araujo, which Araujo usually has a great chin. Luana Pinheiro, that competitive round 1. Her face looked like Elephant Man after round 1. She kind of had to come back and knock her out in round 3. Rose Namajunas, pick 'em fight. Barber knocked her out. She lost to Caitlin Camilleri. Werner Jandiroba looked kind of competitive until round 3. Rodriguez knocked her out. Ronda Marcos, whatever. Like, this will not look minus 200. I stick by what I'm saying. So, and if it does, props to Ribas. But it's a dogger pass for me. It's hard to lock in Dern, especially in a 5-rounder. If this gets extended, rounds 4 and 5, Ribas should like warm up into the fight and look much better there. But yeah, dogger pass. I might still come around to it. Maybe people keep parlaying Ribas. We'll see. So that's it. We have an LFA card as well. I'm not going to talk about it. There's no odds. No point wasting time. But I'll go over this card. So Aliyev, dogger pass for me. Dudakova is just favorite of pass. Bruno Lopez, dogger pass. I have to look into it. Cagliari, dogger pass. Gustafsson, probably Gustafsson or pass. Ogden, this is a shit show fight. Pateria or nothing. There's no way I'll play Tulia at this price. Bunas will pass. I mean, Soriano, Medic, I have to look into it. Bashi, I have 1,500 on Bashi, 3 units. We'll see if I reduce to 2, but I think minimum 2. Chris Curtis, Kopilov, I have to look into this one. Abdul Razak Hassan will pass, all right? Has all the grappling upside, and even in a striking fight for 3 rounds, this could be competitive. Harris, Ponzinibbio are horrible, and Ribas, Dern will pass. Right, that's it. So we don't have MMA this week, but we have LFA and UFC next week, so good time to catch up. Do a lot of tape. The more tape I do, the better my reads are. That's why KSW and OKTAGON and Rizin went well. I taped days after days. There was nothing else to tape, nothing else to distract me. So there will be blood. How will Elo win? Decision or KO? I think he's live for both. I think you mean shooter box, but I'm sprinkling sub. I don't know about that. Fury 100 is a good card. When is that? That's not this week, is it? That's next week as well. Let me have a look. Yeah, it's right after the UFC. Yeah, that's some good fights. Shamon Smitrowski versus Salem Kimmel. That's a high-level fight. Justice Torres is good versus Cameron Graves. Good fight. Paris Moran, Aiden Cora. Yeah, you're right. This is a very good card, actually. Maybe this is Tony Toro in prelims as well. This is just the week to get ahead and tape UFC, Fury, and whatnot. But there are some fights that I really like on UFC 301. I've already started taping that. I started taping Diego Ferreira. I started taping Aline Perez, right? Kevin Holland, Reina Dorita. I actually had a bet, but I cashed it out. I won't tell you which one. Benil Dariush, Renan Mocano. I'm taping these fights, and things are sticking out to me. But I'm not going to ruin it for you, all right? There'll be UFC 311 early tease. So have a listen to that. But that's it. Pirate. No point taping Fury anymore. $100 limits all the time. No, that's not true, mate. Surely the day of they increase limits. I swear. But you would know better than me. I've been neglecting Fury these last few months. Good time to take a break as MMA better. 2 weeks more to go, and this card is shit anyway. You're right, because I really didn't take a break in December. I was taping OKTAGON hardcore. I was taping Rizin hardcore. So maybe this is the week I can just relax, just chill. I got my Christmas, 7th of Jan, Orthodox Christmas as well, so that'll be good. Round 3 of decision, C-Rod or sub? You think C-Rod's going to sub him? I think C-Rod is decision if you want to hedge or if you want to play C-Rod. For me, it's decision, but I wouldn't play around with that. I would just play his money line. Action Jackson, has Dern's striking improved enough to get revenge over Ribas? I mean, it's possible. Yeah, what's the lock of this card? Austin Bashi is the lock, my friend. Otherwise, tune in maybe 4 or 5 days, and I'll give you the locks when I tape it properly. All right, that's it. That'll do me. Peace out. Like and subscribe. Go watch my other video, and thank you very much.